how gravity really works. Now, we have mass, we have rotation, and we have orbit. And if the mass is great enough and is spinning fast enough, then things will orbit around it.
Or stay on. Or stay on.
Or stay on. Okay. Now, if that's true, and we took something with enough mass, let's say we took pure uranium and made it the size of this church and spun it at an appropriate speed, we should be able to create gravity, right? So let's get it spinning. Let's get the formula perfect, the mass just right, the spin just perfect, and then we'll throw an orange at it, and the orange will stick to it, right? You know how many times we've tried to make that work in the scientific community?
It'll bounce right off.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you'll have orange juice. It'll throw it back at you. Or just hold the orange out and give it a fling and watch it spin around that object. It'll orbit perfectly, right? We shot up a satellite and we shot it through the rings of Saturn. And I remember this. I remember the headline. I was in astronomy class at IUPUI when we did this. And they went through, and boy, our professor was saying, we're going to get pictures, and you're going to see in this class how orbital mechanics works. And we were studying orbital mechanics at the time. They shot the satellite through the rings of Saturn, and you know what the scientific journal's headline on the scientific journal was the following week? 90%
Rings of gas.
of our orbital mechanics have been nullified by the Saturn flyby. When they got into those rings, there were braids. There was material orbiting around Saturn in this 1 mile ring, but they were also braiding themselves around each other while they made the circle. There were these layers, these little intricate layers, and this super neat stuff with light going on in those rings. It was absolutely majestic what was going on. And you know what we did the next week in science class? Anybody want to take a guess?
Make grades.
We went to chapter 6 and never said a word about it. Or chapter 12 or whatever chapter. We were on the chapter with orbital mechanics, and the scientific journal came out and said 90% of all of our orbital mechanics laws have been nullified by the Saturn flyby, and that professor never said a word. He went to chapter 6 and ignored the truth. I tried to bring it up, and he said, we need to move along. Creation is so far beyond us, and so meticulously well done. Any idiot who would say that it happened by accident needs to be institutionalized.